Hey players, throughout my life I feel like I've learned everything that I've needed to know to get me by when it comes to talking to girls. I've learned how to open up conversations with them, how to ask for their numbers, and how to follow up. But there was one time with one specific girl that I probably shouldn't have followed up with simply because my friend was trying to get with her. Did I break the bro code? Well, I'm gonna have to explain that story to you first. I want to take you back to my post-college days. This was around the time that I was reading a lot about pickup artistry. I was reading PUA books like The Game by Neil Strauss, and I was trying my best to put everything that I learned into practice. So around this time, any new girls that were brought around me and my friends were seen as people we can try to interact with and test material on. It was kind of like learning a new magic trick. Once you figure out how to do it, you want to perform it in front of people to see what their reaction is. Not all of my friends cared about the whole pickup artistry thing, and I think for myself, part of the reason why I was so drawn to it was because it did help me understand this whole social human interaction thing better. So going into the story part of this, one of my female friends decided to invite one of her female friends to come hang out with me and my guy friends. She always had a good time when she hung out with us, so she decided to invite her friend over too because she figured we'd all get along. This was the first time any of us were meeting her, and she was going to be joining us in a tiny little packed car full of lots of people, which wasn't really that big of a deal. We just had to kind of configure people to fit in the car so that we can drive to the place we needed to go. We drove on over to her house to go pick her up. She got in the car, and while she was sitting in the car, she sat in the back seat talking primarily to one of my friends. Throughout the years, this specific friend never really clicked with a lot of the girls that we had been introduced to, so seeing him and her talk a lot was a good sign. The rest of us in the car decided, hey, him and her are getting along, they're doing their thing, let's not interfere. We drove on over to the bar, and the two of them went off in the corner to go talk amongst each other. The rest of us just went to go hang out. As many of you guys know, I don't drink alcohol, so for me, I was all about talking to people, interacting, and learning things that night. Every so often, I'd look over to see how things were going with my friend, and it seemed like the two of them were getting closer and closer. Keep in mind, we all thought this girl was cute, but we kept our conversations with her to a minimum so my friend and her could get along a lot better than any of us would with her. I remember my female friend coming over to me to tell me how excited she was that they were getting along so well. But as the night progressed, something happened. I don't exactly know what, but something happened. I remember him walking over to her, trying to lift her up with his arms, and her pushing him off, telling him to stop. He wasn't trying to do anything weird or creepy. I think he was just trying to be funny, and it made her feel awkward. And that little joke he tried to pull ended up backfiring on him. From that moment forward, she just lost interest in him. She ended up walking away while he still sat there, and the rest of us looked on confused. He eventually walked over to our group and continued hanging out with us, which led me to assume that everything between them was kind of over. Time had passed throughout the night, and eventually I saw this girl now sitting by herself at the table with no one there to talk to. Keep in mind everything that I said in the beginning of this video. If a magician has a new magic trick, he's going to want to perform it and see how people react. So for me, assuming that everything was kind of over between the two of them and they really just stopped talking for the rest of the night, I figured she was now fair game. I walked on over to her while she was sitting at the table and told her, listen, a girl as beautiful as you should not be sitting alone. Come on, let's go dance. I don't really know how to dance, but that's not the point here. The point is that I pulled her out of this slump and got her excited again. As we were hanging out, dancing, and talking, she ended up telling me, wow, you're funny and cute. To me, it was starting to shape up into a successful night. I was testing different jokes and telling her stories to see how she would react. By the end of the night, she ended up going home early. But for me, I felt like I did exactly what I wanted to. Interact with people, get to know them better, and to test out different things. So the very next day, my female friend decided to call me to let me know her friend's thoughts on last night. When my female friend asked her friend what she thought about the other guy, she said he was cool. But when she asked her what she thought about me, she said she liked me a lot. This should have been fine, but my friend got really upset because he felt like I was stepping on his toes by talking to a girl that he initially started a conversation with. And I was confused. Sure, he had set out initially to talk to her, but it seemed like things fell apart, so I stepped in. But I soon recognized that she was just a girl, and if she mattered a lot more to my friend than she did to me, then he can pursue her and I'll try to take a step back. Cut to a few weeks later when me and my male friend are at a wrestling show when we get a call from my female friend. She told me that her and the girl in question here were hanging out and they wanted both of us to come by. When my friend found out, he was pretty excited about it, but there was one thing standing in his way. That was me. He felt like by me being there, I was stepping on his toes and ruining his chances with this girl. That wasn't what I wanted to do, but I felt like if I had driven back, dropped him off to go hang out, and then went home by myself to hang out for the rest of the night, that'd be kind of lame. My female friend explained to him that me and her would spend the whole night talking while him and the girl would talk. That way we wouldn't cross paths and we wouldn't interfere with each other. I thought this was a pretty solid plan. He would talk to the girl and I would talk to my friend. So when we got to the diner, that's exactly what I set out to do. And the entire thing backfired on me once again. By ignoring this girl the whole night, it made her more intrigued as to why I wasn't talking to her. There were a few moments where the conversation became a group conversation, and I ended up talking to her about business and a few other things that I had learned in school. But I guess ignoring someone and then only sprinkling in little pieces of conversation makes you look more mysterious. And I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, because what ended up happening was my friend only got angrier at me because he felt like once again I was stepping on his toes. But that led me to realize the one simple truth. I have no control over who this girl wants to talk to and who she chooses to like. But out of respect for my friend, I decided to stop talking to this girl altogether. I ended up becoming wrapped up in my own ego. Because this girl liked me, I wanted to talk to her more. But I also saw the damage it was causing between me and my friend. At the end of the day, I respected the bro code. This didn't mean that I couldn't have an individual relationship with her. She's a person after all. She can make that decision if she wanted. But what I do have control over is my own behavior. And that meant not creating a situation where I was trying to lead her on. In the end, nothing happened between the two of them. And me and that girl, later on down the line, became friends. But I still stand by my decision that I made at the time. Perhaps a better thing would have been to talk it through with my friend, but neither one of us thought about that at the time. What do you think though? What would you have done in my situation? Would you have pursued the girl and told your friend, hey, you snooze, you lose? Or would you have backed off, let them do their thing, and not interfere? Leave a comment below and let me know. Dating and friendships can sometimes cross paths and lead to problems. So the very best thing for you to do is to find the person in that equation that you're the closest to and talk it out with them. That way you and that person are on the same exact page with whatever goes forward. As always guys, love and peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I put out new videos every Tuesday and Fridays sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. If you enjoyed this story, hit the thumbs up. I have a ton of stories that I've already shared with you, which you should definitely check out. I'm going to put that in a playlist. It's going to be featured in the description below, so go watch it. If one of your friends get rejected by someone else, how long do you have to wait before you can start talking to them? This is something I wonder.